She is one of the top up and coming race car drivers in the country. Demi Chalkias, Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show, coming up. Our guest today hails from Stouffville. She now lives in Clarington. She's a former international triathlete competitor. First in the Ted Powell Race Weekend at Calabogie Motorsports Park. Winner of the 2018 Pirelli GT4 Sprint Championship. First in the Canadian Tour Car Championship Summer Challenge at Shannonville. First place in the Celebration of Motorsport CASC race. Two-time winner of the Pirelli GT3 Sprint Championship. She won the BARC Canadian Tour Trophy races. Recently competed in the 24 Hours of Spa race in Belgium. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the program, Demi Chalkias. Demi, great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Joe. What an introduction. It's cool to hear that all said out loud.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, you're doing a fine job. You know, we got a chance to meet at an event for the Bowmanville Hospital. I heard your story, very compelling. Tell us, first of all, about your start in sports.
So I've always been an athlete. I've always gravitated towards sports. I was a triathlete, as you had mentioned, and incurred a severe hip injury, which unfortunately ended my career while I was training for a half Ironman. And so I transitioned into go-karting and got into racing and haven't looked back since.
Right. So driving was sort of a natural transition for you. Tell us about that. I know that you've been driving a long time, as it turns out.
Absolutely. So my father was a race car driver, so it's generational in our family. My mom's side of the family, they race something a little different, motorcycles and snowmobiles, but it's come from both sides of my family. And my dad had us in a car driving manual by the age of 10 and just always with something motorized. So I grew up in the sport, and so it wasn't something that was too unfamiliar to get into. But it's been a wild ride, and I feel like my home track is my second home.
Okay, so when I was driving around Bowmanville and I saw that little head poking up and above the steering wheel, that could have been one of the Chalkias kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so now some folks come by the business of racing easier than others. For you, I know that you had to buy your way in personally. Tell us about the process that you went through in purchasing your first car.
So, racing is one of the most expensive sports that you can get into. And if you don't come from a financial background that can pay for your way into it, you obviously have to do it yourself. So, I was originally in school for pre medical. I was on my way to either becoming a sports medicine doctor or a chiropractor. I was at that time where I had to make a decision. And I realized that I just couldn't work enough jobs to afford to buy a race car. So I made the bold decision to drop out of university so that I could work more jobs. And so I served from 6 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning, and eventually was able to save up and buy my own race car and afford my season. And it was very humble beginnings, and I had to grind very hard, and I still do, to kind of get noticed. And you just have to be consistent. You have to put the work in. And I understand that everybody's way into this industry is different. And mine just took a lot more work, if you will. And it just strengthens that want and that need to be at the track, because you know how hard you're willing to work to be there.
You know, it's a lot of people's parents might have said, Demi, you're going to be a doctor. You're not going to be a race car driver. Did you get some pushback from them?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't blame them either. I never really was the type where I was like, oh, mom and dad don't believe in my dreams. It was more so I understood their concerns. I understand that it's so hard to make a career in racing. And I didn't take for granted the fact that I was able to be in school. I know it's a privilege to go to post secondary school and receive that education. So I totally understood. And, both my parents come from a very humble upbringing themselves, too. So the fact that I was even able to go to university was something to be proud of. And it was something that we understood was hard work and a lot of money to be there. So, it took time to kind of explain to them or show them, actually. I gave up trying to explain this to anybody, really, to just show people exactly what I had envisioned in my head and what I had set out to do. So it took some years, and eventually I started getting noticed. And now they're so proud of me. They say, look at this magazine, look at this news article, and this race my daughter won in championship. So yeah, it just took a bit of proving.
So you talk about some of the challenges and convincing your parents, financial challenges. What is it like? What was it like for a female race car driver entering a world that is dominated by male drivers? What
To
challenges
be
did
honest
you
with you,
come into?
I thought it was kind of cool to be a female in a male dominated sport. I do remember looking around at the drivers' meeting and realizing I am the only female here, but I thought it was kind of cool. And I thought that, it could be used as a platform to potentially inspire other women to get into the sport. And of course, there's a bit more attention put on you. So when you don't perform well, there's more attention on it. But when you do perform well, there's that same amount of, oh, the girl did good, So just like anybody in the sport, you have to put your head down, you have to work hard, and you have to earn your respect. And, at first it was more of a, let's see what she can do. Is she going to be good? Is she not? But I was on podium for my very first race. And, you just put your head down and do the work and earn your respect.
On the podium in your first race, I think that's a pretty significant telltale sign right there. We do have some cool in-car video of you racing at Canadian Motorsport Park. Tell us about this car and the event.
Yeah, so this right here is my E46 M3 that I had built with my dad. And this has an S54 engine in it, which is the stock engine, but it has cams and a tune done to it. So it's pushing about 326 horsepower. We're running race fuel, more so for just insurance on the engine, if you will. It has a 5-speed transmission, manual, and Moton 3-way adjustable suspension and AP racing brakes. This car won the GT3 championship. I won it in 2020 with this car. And his name is Chico.
The car's name is Chico. Let's listen to some of this. You're on somebody. That's awesome. So 326 horses, and you're flying around there pretty fast, as we can see.
Yeah.
What you've won a couple of Pirelli GT3 titles. Let's talk about some of those championships and what it took to top the podium in those events.
So I'm super grateful to have won the championships that I have won. It took a lot of hard work and dedication and just always showing up. You have to, in order to win a championship, you have to finish all your races. You have to be at every race weekend, and you have to be placing, top 3 minimum. So, I mean, for the 2018 championship for the GT4 class, that was in my E36 BMW. And that one, it was funny. I was a business manager at a dealership. And at the end of 2017, I was frustrated with my season because in the dealership world, you're not allowed to take Saturdays off. So I always missed qualifying. So I got frustrated with not being able to win races because I'd have to move my way up from the back, and I would finish top 5, and it just wasn't good enough for me. And so I made the bold decision yet again to quit my job as a business manager, which was a really good job in your early 20s to have. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to chase racing. I just want to focus all of my attention on racing. And that's exactly what I did during my off season in 2017 and 2018. I worked on all of my weaknesses. I'm mentally prepared. And I went out in 2018 and I won almost every single race that season and took home the championship. I dominated that year. And then in 2020, I had my E46 M3. And after chasing a lot of overheating issues in 2019, I decided whatever it takes, I'm going to win the championship this year. And we did face a lot of adversity that year, a lot of challenges with the vehicle and the car and the engine. But we overcame all of it, any obstacle that was thrown our way. We would show up, we'd work on the car until 4 o'clock in the morning and be back out racing for 8 a.m. the next day. So um, it took a lot. It was a hard fought battle. It was very close that year because of some of the challenges we faced, but I ended up being able to, you know, perform when I had the vehicle to perform in, just get the job done and take home the championship that year too.
You know, you talk about adversity, and you overcome it time and time again. And we want to talk about it, some more adversity that you had to face last March, the diagnosis that you faced. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so last year I definitely was dealing with some health issues, and I was diagnosed with a rare disease called TGCT, which is it's a giant cell tumor essentially. So it's a locally aggressive tumor that was found in my left knee, and for a period of time there, we didn't know if it was cancer or if it was this rare disease. And I was in the middle of training actually for one of the biggest races of my life. It was with the Mercedes AMG GT4. And, you know, it was a pretty extensive knee surgery that I had to get done. And all of my healthcare providers told me, you know, be prepared to not be back in a car and make it in time for that GT4 race. And I said, watch me. There's no way you're going to have me sit for this one. They estimated they estimated my recovery to be walking like assisted and you know get back up and running for 6 to 12 weeks. And in just over a month, I was back in the Mercedes racing and competing, and I was able to show them exactly what I was able to do behind the wheel of a race car. And it was funny because I went to the track and I consciously had to think about walking normal, not showing any signs of weakness. And, you know, just the mental preparation when I couldn't walk and I was bedridden, I had my eyes closed and I was just trying to feel what it would feel and visualize what it would be like to walk again. And so it took a lot of mental determination to get back into a car, but it gave me hope. It gave me something to focus on during, you know, some not so great times, but you build a lot of character during times like that. So overall, I'm incredibly grateful that I went through that opportunity, and I was able to be an example of just facing challenges head on with courage and grace.
You know, you talk about visualization and how important that is for you know all great athletes. You have to see it before you can do it. You believe you see it, you believe it, then you see it, right? And it's like Bianca Andreescu when she wrote out that blank check, U.S. Open champion, when she was like I think 13 or 14 years old. Like that stuff, you got to believe in yourself, and clearly you do. There seems to be a theme here. Tell Demi she can't do something and get the heck out of the way because here she comes. Pretty awesome. You talked about the AMG Mercedes deal. Like you guys are, and this. Tell us about She's Mercedes and how did you end up on that team?
Yeah, so the She's Mercedes campaign is a global initiative and it's bringing light to females in motorsport. And I was chosen to be a representative and a She's Mercedes driver for our Canada campaign. And I got to race the AMG GT4 amongst three other women at Buttonwillow, California. And from there, I received my ride with the Mercedes AMG separate to that campaign. But it finally gave me this platform to finally showcase what I was capable of doing behind the wheel of a race car and get the right eyes on me. So it's a campaign and initiative that I feel very strongly about. And I'm so grateful to Mercedes for investing, you know, the time and energy into showcasing us and what we're capable of doing and bringing awareness to it. And it opened up so many doors for me that I don't know would have been opened up uh, otherwise. Like I want to say that I was very determined to work hard obviously for my ride, and I did, but I just don't know if I would have been able to walk in something like I did had they not given me the opportunity to demonstrate at that level what I was capable of doing. So thank you, Mercedes. I actually have my She's Mercedes shirt on, my AMG. So just a huge amount of respect for Mercedes and everything that they're doing to bring awareness to women in motorsport.
What has been the response from friends, relatives, and people that you've known all the way along?
I think it's safe to say that everybody's just so proud. And it's been so humbling and rewarding and such a mixture of emotions to kind of be able to finally show them what I had visualized for so long for myself. This is exactly where I envisioned myself to be at in my career and the opportunities that I'm able to do now. And it's what I feel like is where I'm supposed to be. So a lot of people are just so happy to see my hard work finally pay off and an opportunity come. And I've had supporters from day one, from when I was just, racing my little BMW that I was wrenching on myself at the track with my dad. And, those supporters had this belief in me too, that I was able to be where I am today. So it's just so nice to kind of see it all come together and just be a living example that, with hard work and dedication, that you can be here. I think that's a huge lesson to take from my journey as well, is that you don't necessarily need to be a trust fund baby, if you will, to be able to make it in racing. You just have to keep showing up and work hard, and something will work out for you. You just have to stay dedicated.
Well, you got to believe in yourself. You got to work hard, and when the hard work and the belief in yourself meets that opportunity, that's when you have success, right? That's how it comes together. Now, I understand there's going to be a documentary released soon. Is that correct? Tell us about that.
That is, yeah. So Full Throttle is the documentary that they made. So you'll be able to actually see my whole story and get an in-depth kind of view of my entire story coming into the sport. And it will showcase not only just mine, but two other female drivers too that were chosen for the documentary, and just kind of see our stories, and then all of us kind of come together and do this race as a team. So it comes out at the end of September, beginning of October, from what I hear, and it should be on streaming services, some TV networks. I don't know exactly which one, so I won't comment just yet, but stay tuned. I will definitely be posting more. And I encourage everyone to just go and check it out and see. I mean, it would mean a lot to me for you guys to go and watch it and give me some feedback on what you thought. It also showed my surgery recovery and everything, and how I kind of overcame that and got back into a car. So there's some really good stuff in there. I encourage everyone to go check it out.
Well, that Vic and I are going to go see that for sure, right, producer Vic? You've also done some endorsements. Tell us about the. Oh, we actually let's watch this spot. We got a spot you did for Element Roll Bar Mount.
You have included clamps, which go around the roll cage in your desired area and go through these two openings right here, and you tighten. You want to choose an area of the roll cage which is easy to grab from the seat of your car. In my case, I've chosen this portion of the roll cage. As you can see behind here, I do have a fire suppression system, which is great. However, they have localized nozzles which only spray in specific areas of the car where the fire might not be. With an Element fire extinguisher, I can take it and bring it to an area of the fire where the nozzles may not be spraying. I can also go and help a competitor if need be.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Help a competitor if need be.
Yeah.
What would you say, Demi? Where do you see yourself in 5 years as a driver?
In 5 years, I definitely see myself racing at the a higher level of sports car racing. So if I could get into SRO, which is a series that I really want to race next after this upcoming season for 2023, which I'll be racing a pro series here in Canada called FEL. From there, I would like to get into SRO, which is a pro series in the States, and eventually move my way into doing some races in IMSA, which is the highest form of sports car racing here in North America. So I just want to go to the highest form that I possibly can. I really enjoy sports car racing. That's my niche. That's where I've built my career and where I'd like to see where the limits are for me in that respective field of the industry. And just to continue mentoring, I want to mentor new drivers into the industry. And I'm very passionate about motivating others and helping people and coaching people into this sport. So I would like to just take it as far as possible and just to bring more people into this sport realistically.
Well, you're an inspiration for all of us, and I'm sure there's a lot of young girls and young women who are watching you and what you're doing, and it's fantastic. It's a beautiful thing. Um, I know that we will be seeing you at IMSA, Daytona 24 Hours, Le Mans. You'll be there, and we'll be looking forward to watching you race with that Canadian flag on your car. It's fantastic. Demi, it's been great having you on the show. Continued success. We hope to see you atop the podium many, many times, and looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joe. I hope to have you guys out at some races.
Oh, yeah, we'll be there. All right. Go Sports when we come back. Thank you.
More Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show coming up after the break. Guests on Joe Tilley Sports receive a gift certificate from Classica Imports. Top of the line imported men's clothing. Check out the Classica Essential Collection now. Go to shopclassica.com. Addiction Rehab Toronto, Toronto's #1 alcohol and drug treatment center, saving lives, reuniting families. The only treatment center in the province to offer medical detox, treatment, sober living, and lifetime aftercare all in one place. Our unique and specialized programs are designed to equip our clients with the tools to successfully lead a life of dignity, respect, and purpose. Let us help save your life or your loved one's life. Call today for more information or to facilitate an intervention. 1-855-787-2424 or visit addictionrehabtoronto.ca. Joe Tilley Sports is brought to you by COSA, Central Ontario Standardbred Association, providing a united voice for harness horse people racing at Ontario tracks. Check out your benefits today at COSAonline.com and check out COSA TV on Facebook and YouTube for all the latest harness news and live action updates. Live racing year-round. Go to hpibet.com for all your wagering options. Become a member today, and your first bet is free. That's hpibet.com.
Do you know why that happened? You didn't fix your ball mark. The birds around here are very protective of the course, and when people don't take care of it, this is what happens. It's pretty simple. Just find your mark, fix it, and at least one other. Hey, look at the bright side. We're not up on the northern course. They've got bears and moose. Visit moregolf.ca today. You'll find everything a golfer could need, from balls, gloves, and clubs to custom fitting opportunities and training gear. Go to moregolf.ca and get $20 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Just enter the promo code JTSports.
Yes, now my Costa Swiss pick of the week. Last week, I went to Mohawk for Tuesday night's 9th race, a trot. I took the number 9 horse, Cool Muscle, which looked like a great pick. Jody Jamieson took him to the front early, but Sylvan Filion in muscle fashion had a lovely pocket trip and just enough gas at the end to slip into the lead in 155 even. Carmen Osceola, the trainer, Cool Muscle, hung on for second, so I had the exact tip. This week, I'm going to the Canadian Pacing Derby on Saturday night. I have to take Bulldog Hanover, fastest harness horse in history. Let's box him with Jimmy Freight and Desperate Man. For all the racing updates, visit Costa TV on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Go to hpibet.com for your wagering options.
This is the Excellent Sports Adventure, brought to you by Lycom.
The field is set for Saturday night's $650,000 final of the Canadian Pacing Derby. The two elimination heats from this past weekend. First up, Rocky Road Hanover, the 2-5 favorite, never threatened. Four-Wee Hanover led for most of the way and still had the lead as they made their way to the final turn. Let's pick up the call from truck announcer Ken Middleton.
Jimmy Freight up the inside, powers on through now. Outside third, Luz Perlman, Rocky Road Hanover, and Poseidon Sealster, but it's Jimmy Freight. Jimmy Freight up the inside to take the first Canadian Pacing Derby elimination by 2. War-Wee Vital second. It looked like Poseidon Sealster was third.
Philippe Roy guided Jimmy Freight to the upset for trainer Rich Moreau and co-owner Adriano Sorella.
That horse, Jimmy Freight, just made it look so easy for me because it made my job easy. You can do whatever you want. So any times you're almost never in a bad position, bad spot, just respect the horse a little bit and he's going to give you all he has.
He did get hurt when he was out in New Jersey and, we were off for a couple months there. So to see him come back, we gave him that qualifier in that race and he was good in that race and he came back here and I was there when he showed up and he was feeling pretty good about himself and he looked good tonight.
A fierce battle to 3/4.
Second elimination, Bulldog Hanover, the world record holder, who has rolled through the competition all year long, struggled out of the gate. With Dexter done driving, he was pacing 6th for most of the race, but watch as he comes flying on the outside. Once again, here's Ken Middleton.
Bulldog Hanover on the outside, tattoo artist in between, and here comes Bulldog Hanover. Bulldog Hanover rushes by Desperate Man in the final 16th of this one, and it's Bulldog Hanover for Dunn, who wraps him up late. He'll win by 3 lengths. It's Bulldog Hanover in 1.
Owned and trained by Jack Darling, Bulldog Hanover has 9 wins in 10 races this year.
I was happy to take a helmet. He's been on the front for quite a few starts now, and the speed was on. So we just took a back seat for a bit and got a good trip after that.
Seemed like he didn't have any issue settling either when you decided to just follow along.
Oh, he knows his job. He's such a cool horse to drive, and really, tonight showed he can do it either way.
When you sit behind him, are you just in awe of what he does?
Yeah, the last 8th tonight was when he was just starting to warm up. It felt like, So yeah, it is. It's a pleasure to sit behind him.
I've actually been hoping that he could catch a trip like that and race from behind just one of these times. And Dexter he's a great driver and he just knows what to do, and he gave him the perfect steer.
Talk about the credit that you can maybe give some of your team members and you, of course, just the job you guys do to keep this guy feeling so good for every single start.
Well, I like to say he's a phenomenal horse. He's got a great driver, an excellent caretaker, a lucky trainer, and a couple lucky owners.
Yeah, it's all luck. Dunn, by the way, also captured the William Wellwood Invitational Trot with winner's bet. Well, it turned out to be a heck of a road trip for the Blue Jays. 3 out of 4 in the Bronx. Then they make it a clean sweep at Fenway. Check out the defense. Rafael Devers stings one. Matt Chapman with a diving stab. Amazing backhand toss to second to start the inning-ending double play. The Jays' defense and pitching was really coming around in that series. Series finale, Jordan Romano escaped a bases-loaded jam with nobody out in the 9th. High game, heads-up play by Matt Chapman. Steps on the bag, guns to first, call it 2. The Jays' bullpen has been the best in baseball since early in July. They are 13-3 against the Red Sox this season. So the Jays come home to celebrate the 1992 World Series win. They honor the members of that great team. They even had the reenactment of that final out. Mike Timlin tossed to Joe Carter. Unfortunately, they got shut out in back-to-back games against the lowly Angels. Scored 3 runs and getting swept by the Halos. Well, that's baseball. It looked like the Jays were on their way to a 4 straight home loss, but Danny Jansen says, I don't think so. A majestic 3-run blast in the 7th, into the first deck, dug the Jays out of a 4-0 hole against the Cubs. Then in the 11th, comes through again, a liner. Matt Chapman rounds third. He's going to score. Jays over the Cubs 5-4. Well, for the 3rd time in 4 weeks, the Argos squared off with their old pals from Hamilton. Yes, indeed, on a lovely night at BMO Field. The home side rallied from 10 points down. McLeod Bethel Thompson puts up a perfect ball for Deveris Daniels. That's a 13-yard touchdown. One of 3 TD tosses for MBT. Tough night for Dane Evans. Looks outside, but that pass is picked up by Jamal Peters. Peters has wheels. He's going to take this back 67 yards for the touchdown. 3 picks for Peters. The Boltman blast the Cats 37-20. The two clubs will do again Labor Day in Hamilton. Some positive signs for Team Canada, the Women's World Hockey Championships. They're getting scoring from all their lines facing Switzerland. Sarah Fillion of Georgetown scored twice to pace the Canadian side to a 4-1 victory. Canada's 16th consecutive win under coach Troy Ryan. They followed that up with a 9-0 romp over Japan. The captain, Marie-Philippe Poulin, with a pair of goals and a helper. Canadian men's basketball team has pretty much wrapped up a spot in the next year's World Cup. Ken Olynyk led the way with 18 points. Kevin Pangos had it 17. The Canadian side pounded Panama 106-50. They are the only undefeated team in the qualifier at 8-0. One more win by Canada or an Argentina loss will clinch that spot in the World Cup. Great start for the Canadian contingent at the U.S. Open. Former champ Bianca Andreescu got out of the gate with a 3-set win over Harmony Tan of France. Leylah Fernandez rolled through in straight sets. Rebecca Marino advanced as well. In men's play, Felix Auger-Aliassime needed 4 sets to reach round 2. Wow, that new Italian connection is really making their mark for Toronto FC, aren't they? Federico Bernardeschi and Lorenzo Insigne each had a goal and a helper as the Reds slipped past Charlotte 2-0. They still got a shot at the postseason. FC will host the LA Galaxy this week. The host team won a pair of titles at the Toronto Rock Junior Lacrosse Championship at Oakville. Under 13 final, Rock facing the Seals. Kyle Cleland springs Sebastian Danilon. He scores. The captain had a 5-point game. The Rock rolled over the Seals 12-4. Cooper Cosmo scored 5 goals in the semi and 1 more in the final. In the under 15 final, the Rock rallied from 2 down. Max Kruger sneaks in behind the knee. Kruger had 2 goals, 2 helpers. The Rock knocked off the Junior Mammoth 8-6. Paula Rito captured the Canadian Women's Open. Rory McIlroy is back on top of the PGA. And Liv, that's a waste of time. It's time now for our shot week.
God damn it.
4!
Good time to film. That's dead at it.
Get in the hole.
Ah, nice.
Nice shot, Mr. Tilley.
What's that going on this
Can't believe I missed. Big hole like that and I missed it. Today's environmental tip, avoid using bottled water. Yes, the process of manufacturing water bottles contributes to water shortages. It takes more water to produce a plastic water bottle than there is water inside the bottle. Transporting bottled water creates more greenhouse gases. It takes over 1,000 years for plastic water bottles to decompose, and the process leaks harmful chemicals into the soil. Rycom, passionate people who turn complicated business problems into simplified technology solutions for public and private sector real estate, properties, portfolios, and enterprise customers. Optimize and future-proof smart buildings from the ground up. The latest in fault locating, base building network design, managed services, cybersecurity, data analytics. Our fault detection will support all smart strategies, define projected outcomes for capital planning, and reduce environmental impact. Rycom, smart protection solutions. At Rycom, we're building a path to a smart and environmentally friendly future.
We want to thank all the folks who make the show possible. These are friends, trusted business associates, and all-around great people. We highly recommend them all. Reminder, the show is available on iTunes, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcast, and Pocket Cast, as well as the Spanglish Network, Zingo TV, and Buzz TV Live. Also, if you really want to check out our YouTube channel, there are past shows available, weekly sportscasts, all kinds of cool segments, some shorts. Like and subscribe. It's all free. Thanks again for Demi Chalkias for being on the show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week when James Duthie drops by. We'll see you then.
Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show is brought to you by Brian Gribben Insurance Planning. helping you solidify your financial future.
At BGIP, what we do that's unique in the marketplace is we show people how to spend and enjoy their money in their early years of retirement without the fear of running out. Also, we're able to do this without you having to change financial advisors. Please look us up at bgip.ca today. Let's book a 30-minute phone call to see how we can bring value to you and your family in your planning.
Call Brian today for all your retirement needs. We did. 905-686-5678. Do you want to buy or sell a home? Could 31 years of real estate experience help you? Why not speak to an amazing team that loves to overpromise and overdeliver? Aldo has a tremendous team of experts on staff. They are committed to making your next real estate transaction smooth and comfortable. Call 416-GET-ALDO or visit getaldo.com. MNP, a leading Canadian national accounting, tax, and business accounting firm. MNP proudly serves and responds to the need of their clients in the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Through partner-led engagements, MNP provides a collaborative, cost-effective approach to do business and personal strategies to help people and organizations to succeed across the country and around the world. With local offices in Oshawa, Mississauga, Burlington, and more, their team is here to support you. Visit mnp.ca today to learn more. Hi, I'm Joe Tilley. This November, join me and my wife Penny Claire for a trip of a lifetime. 2 weeks in Egypt and Jordan. Imagine yourself riding a camel beside the Great Pyramids, cruising the Nile River, viewing the temples at Abu Simbel, exploring the desert at Wadi Rum, visiting the ancient city of Petra, and swimming in the world-renowned Dead Sea. Only $41.99 all-inclusive with direct flight from Toronto, free upgrade to 5-star hotels, and the cruise. Visit tripoppo.com and book today to get an extra $100 room bonus credit. Let's travel.
The UPS store in Brooklyn wants to help your small business thrive. We offer shipping and more, like our pack and ship guarantee. Plus, we offer graphic design services, fast digital printing, secure document shredding, and mailboxes with a real address. Visit 31 Baldwin Street in Brooklyn, Ontario. Say you saw this on Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show, and we'll tell you how to save 10% every day.